KLM 433 is just 500 feet above the ground.
Watch your speed.
The plane has slowed to a dangerously low speed.
I'm on it.
A sudden bank to the right takes the passengers by surprise. The captain struggles to keep the plane level.
Going around, set torque, flap 7, gear up.
Then he tries to abort the landing attempt. Flight 433 is now beyond recovery. It's the first flight of the day for the crew of Prop Air Flight 420. Today's flight is a 90-minute hop from Dorval to Peterborough, Ontario. The plane has been in the air for 12 minutes.
What?
What is it?
Looks like we lost hydraulics. Dorval approach, this is Prop Air 420. We've had dual hydraulic failure. Request clearance to return to Dorval.
The Metroliner has two hydraulic systems. One controls the flaps, the other the landing gear.
Looks like we're landing without flaps.
With no flaps, the pilots can't reduce their speed without stalling. Then, just 30 seconds after losing hydraulics, before they've started back to the airport.
What's going on? It wants to roll left.
Really?
I'm holding it right.
Something's wrong with the controls.
Need to trim half turn to the right.
If the plane is rolling in one direction, applying trim avoids the need for continuous pilot inputs. Trimming it right brings the left wing up and levels the plane. As Flight 420 gets halfway back to Dorval,
Fire! The left engine's on fire.
an even bigger problem emerges.
Left engine shutdown procedure.
The pilots attempt to extinguish the fire in the left engine.
Left power lever.
Confirmed left.
The captain executes the engine shutdown procedure.
Back to idle. Confirmed left shutoff lever.
Confirmed.
Pulling left engine stop lever.
Dorval approach, Prop Air 420. Left engine is on fire. We've shut it down.
Prop Air 420, I see you are returning to Dorval. I can give you direct to Mirabel.
Affirmative. Direct to Mirabel.
While Flight 420 is only 11 minutes from Dorval, they reroute to Montreal's other airport, Mirabel, which is closer.
I see flames now. Flames from the engine nozzle.
The situation goes from bad to dire. Fire crews park alongside the runway at Mirabel Airport for the emergency landing of Flight 420. Captain Provencher is struggling to maintain control. Now he has to lower the landing gear manually with no guarantee it will work.
Gear down now.
Gear down.
The nose and right wheels have dropped, but one light stays off. Prop Air 420 is 20 seconds from touchdown.
Rolling left.
Not now.
They're just 5 seconds from being able to touch down when disaster strikes. The plane crashes into a watery ditch next to the runway. Despite the best efforts of rescue crews, no one makes it out of the plane alive. Garuda Indonesia Flight 152 left the Indonesian capital of Jakarta nearly 90 minutes ago. Headed northwest, it's expected to arrive at its destination in about half an hour.
Surface winds calm, visibility 400 meters. present weather, smoke.
Forest fires in Sumatra have sent a thick blanket of smoke across all of Southeast Asia.
Indonesia 152,
Turn right heading 046.
Turn right heading 046, Indonesia 152.
Any second now, the controller expects to see Flight 152 turn onto final approach.
What?
The Airbus has somehow become dangerously close to the ground.
Come on! Climb! Climb! Climb!
Investigators gather information from the air traffic controller, the last person to have communicated with Flight 152.
They approached from the southeast. I was trying to bring them in this way. Left turn, then a right turn that gets them into runway 05.
The controller suspects the captain somehow misinterpreted his instructions and missed the final turn. With no sign of the black boxes, investigators gather air traffic recordings made in the tower. It's hoped they can shed some light on why the plane turned away from the airport instead of towards it.
Roll tape.
Confirming descent to flight level 140.
The air traffic recordings capture only the radio calls between the pilots and the controller.
Indonesia 152, descend to 3,000 feet for runway 05.
They're not as helpful as a CVR recording, which would reveal all sounds and conversation inside the cockpit.
Reduce speed 220.
But investigators listen closely for any clue as to why the A300 veered so badly off course.
On heading 215, Indonesia 152.
That puts them about here, right on course. One more right turn, and he's lined up with the runway.
Indonesia 152, turn right heading 046.
There it is, clear as day.
Turn right heading 046, Indonesia 152.
Okay, stop there. They definitely understood. Turn right.
How the flight went so horribly wrong in the final few moments is baffling.
It's in the exact opposite direction they were told.
Investigators need the CVR if they hope to figure out what exactly went on in the cockpit of Flight 152. As they begin their descent with no tower to guide them, Captain Gatke's radio communications are critical.
King Air 1127.
Delta's taxiing out. Takeoff on runway 4. They're using 4.
A King Air A90, a much smaller twin turboprop, is taxiing out to runway 4.
King Air 1127, Delta holding short of runway 4. Be to take in the runway for departure.
The commuter plane is now 90 seconds to touchdown. 500. The King Air is in position and holding.
On short final for runway 13.
400.
The aircraft gonna hold in position on runway 4, or you guys gonna take off?
7646 Juliet, holding for departure on runway 4.
200.
King Air.
Okay, we'll get through your intersection in just a second, sir.
100.
We appreciate that. Finals are complete.
At the same moment, flight instructor Paul Walker is in a hangar at Quincy Airport.
Max reverse. Oh, Christ.
What the hell?
We heard this explosion that rattled the walls and windows shook. And as I came outside, what I saw looked like a mushroom cloud from when you see the films of the atomic bombs going off.
At Quincy Airport, Paul Walker rushes toward burning wreckage on the runway.
I would say I was at the crash site in less than a minute and a half.
As he draws closer to the fire, Walker makes a bone-chilling discovery. It's not only the King Air engulfed in flames. 2 planes are on fire.
Open the door! Please! Someone help! Open the door! Open the door!
Another pilot comes to help Walker on the runway. The main exit, an air stair door, is directly behind the cockpit.
I grabbed the handle and attempted to open the door. I tried everything I could do in the world, and I could not get that door to unlatched.
I can't do this!
I'm gonna get help!
Leaving the airplane was one of the more difficult things I've ever done in my life. When I looked at the captain, there was part of me that knows that she knew that by the time I got back, it would be too late. That I was literally their last hope.
Please!
Moments later, all hope for the crash survivors is lost.
It was easily less than 2 minutes from the time I was standing by the left wing till it exploded. I felt like I failed.
Despite Paul Walker's heroic efforts, 4 pilots and 10 passengers are dead. It's one of the worst runway accidents in North American history. It's 9 in the morning as Ansett New Zealand Flight 703 cruises toward the city of Palmerston North, New Zealand. William McGrory is flying to his company's head office for an early morning meeting.
I was working for a plumbing company. I was based in Auckland and they were based in Palmerston North. As we were on approach...
I don't think the landing gear's down on the right side. Can you check your window?
No, I can't see the landing gear at all.
In the cockpit, Captain Sutherland and his first officer are already troubleshooting the problem. As Flight 703 nears Palmerston North, the pilots follow the procedure for lowering landing gear manually.
Airspeed below 140 knots?
It's 140.
Karen was sitting right there in front of me, and the next minute...
And then I'll have a few days off, so I'll probably head down to...
Another crash, and then we seem to be sliding. Eventually, we came to a stop. I guess it just flicked into survival mode and didn't really matter what was wrong with me. I was alive. Get out of this plane, that was probably the only single thing that was on my mind at the time. Saw a hole in front of me on the right-hand side and saw that as an opportunity to get out.
In the airport's tower, Controller Tony Chapman tries to contact Ansett Flight 703.
I don't know where they are. There's no signals at all and they're off radar.
We're out in front of the nose now, which was facing back the way we came. I saw my little briefcase. So I grabbed that and opened it up, knowing full well that my phone was in there. I rang 111, and they said, what emergency do you need? Ambulance, fire, or police? And I said, send the whole bloody lot.
We've got a plane crash, send everything.
And she immediately changed her tone and said, just hang up and we'll get back to you.
Did he say where they were? Okay, did you get a number?
The operator has notified Palmerston North's tower of McGrory's call.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hello?
William, whatever happens, do not hang up the phone. You have to stay on the phone with me.
Can you see if you can find some kind of landmark, anything that can help find us where we are?
The passenger who'd come to help me said, I'll have a look around. So he went off up the hill, and he'd gone quite a distance and quite a while, really. And he came back sometime later, and he said, there's a big holding pen for sheep up the hill further.
We're next to a very large sheep holding pen.
Looks like they're near the Buckley stockyard up by Whole Block Road.
With the location of the crash roughly pinpointed, rescuers make their way to the scene. Flight 703 has crashed into a hill 10 miles from the airport at Palmerston North. 15 passengers and both pilots have survived. Tragically, 3 passengers and flight attendant Karen Gallagher are killed.
We were very, very lucky that 17 of us survived. I think so sadly for those that did lose their lives. The hostess and the others that died on that day was so unnecessary.
593, this is Novokuznetsk area control. Please come in.
310 miles north of the Mongolian border, air traffic controllers in Novokuznetsk wait for Flight 593 to radio that it's left their control area.
Area control, please come in.
The recovery operation gets underway. The Russian government mobilizes 238 soldiers, police, investigators, and rescuers. Everyone in the aviation world wants to know how a brand new state-of-the-art Airbus could fall out of the sky without any warning. Does the A310 have problems no one knows about? They need to find out fast. Chief Accident Investigator Ivan Mashkivsky is in charge. The crash site itself offers few clues. The ones he does have are puzzling. Unbroken bottles of champagne, a flight attendant in an oxygen mask, and finally, the body of at least one child in the cockpit. The plane's digital flight data recorder indicates the engines were running when it hit the ground. He rules out engine failure. Mashkivsky needs the expertise of a man who knows the A310 well. Someone who can also recreate the fatal flight and find out exactly what went wrong. Vladimir Biryukov is an experienced test pilot and crash investigator at the Gromov Institute in Moscow. He's an expert on the A310 Airbus.
Yeah, come.
I think you should come and listen to this.
Each investigation begins with a complete analysis of the plane's cockpit voice recorder. This time, it reveals something disturbing.
Now, come and sit in my seat. Would you like to?
Daddy, can I turn these?
Yeah.
Kudrinsky was in the pilot's seat, wasn't he?
Yeah, according to the diagram.
Can I turn this a bit?
Yeah, but if you turn it to the left, where will the plane go?
Left.
Right. Look out.
Again.
Can I turn this a bit?
Yeah, but if you turn it to the left, where will the plane go?
10 years ago, it wasn't unusual for people to be invited up to the cockpit. Of course, since 9/11, it's become a lot tighter, and you will find cockpit doors are locked generally throughout the flight.
Every country sets its own rules as to who has the authority or the access to the cockpit. In some countries, it's up to the captain, so the captain can invite guests up to the cockpit. But to have them actually manipulating the controls of an airplane, regardless of whether they have people on it or not, the fact that this was allowed to occur is definitely an exception in the industry.
Can I go back to my seat?
The two investigators are stunned by what they hear on the cockpit voice recorder.
It's unbelievable. These two youngsters, the ones who we couldn't identify, they were not thrown into the cockpit by the crash. They were his kids.
And they were flying the plane.
It's Easter Monday, 1994, at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport.
Set torque. My controls.
KLM Cityhopper Flight 433 is on its way from Amsterdam to Cardiff, Wales.
Look out ahead of us. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Captain Levard spots thunderclouds ahead. He wants to get above them.
That's control for flight level 200.
Amsterdam KLM 433.
Go ahead, 423.
Is flight level 200 available?
Climb to 200. You are re-cleared. Flight level 200.
Amsterdam Air Traffic Control okays the climb to 20,000 feet.
Okay, we're not climbing anymore.
Approaching 17,000 feet, Captain Levard notices a problem with his plane's performance.
No.
It's not climbing as quickly as it should be.
You need to return to Amsterdam, make a PAN call, request to maintain flight level 160.
Tell them we have a technical issue.
Amsterdam KLM 433, pan. We have an engine problem and we'd like to maintain 160 for return to Schiphol.
That's copied, sir. You may turn right, heading to Schiphol.
The PAN call sends the controller into action.
We have a pan from KLM 433, now returning to Schiphol.
At the airport, emergency vehicles race to positions near the runway. KLM 433 is just 500 feet above the ground.
Watch your speed.
The plane has slowed to a dangerously low speed.
I'm on it.
A sudden bank to the right takes the passengers by surprise. The captain struggles to keep the plane level.
Going around. Set torque. Flap 7, gear up.
Then he tries to abort the landing attempt. Flight 433 is now beyond recovery.
Steer! 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 Garrett! Garrett! Garrett!
Crash. Runway 06, emergency runway 06.
KLM Cityhopper 433 has crashed in full view of Amsterdam Schiphol Airport Control Tower.